Are you tired of playing whack-a-mole with garden pests? One day your plants look great, they look fine. And then the next day you've got chewed up leaves and the plants are dying. There's bugs everywhere having a feast on your plants. But here's what they don't tell you. You don't need expensive solutions or toxic sprays to fix this. Nature has it covered. And today I'll be showing you how to turn your garden into a bug-free place naturally. So here's the thing, when people see bugs in their garden, they do one of two things. They might panic and run to grab the nearest chemical spray. It's fast, it's easy, but it's also horrible for everything else. Your plants, the soil, the bees, and even your own health. Or they just might ignore it entirely, hoping that the problem will go away. And spoiler alert, it won't. Those tiny pests, they're gonna multiply fast. And before you know it, they've turned your garden into their personal buffet. But nature has already solved this for us, by the way. It developed plants that bugs just hate. Some because they smell awful to pests, others because they attract those pest predators. So let's talk about the plants you can use right now to protect your garden and keep your garden thriving. You love basil, right? Pesto goes on pizza, perfect in a tomato sauce with your garden fresh tomatoes. It's just perfect. But do you know who doesn't like basil? Mosquitoes. They can't stand it. The strong smell confuses them, making it harder for them to find you, so less mosquito bites. But it also repels flies and aphids as well. My advice is, anytime you plant a tomato plant, just put a basil plant there as well, because if you're picking fresh tomatoes, you're gonna want basil. It's said that they can improve tomato growth. I'm not sure, but I just put them there anyway. The best placement for these is near tomatoes, of course, peppers, or in pots on your patio to keep the mosquitoes away. Always have it close to your kitchen. That goes for all herbs, really. The closer it is to the kitchen, the more likely you are to use it. And here's an extra trick. If you are being attacked by mosquitoes, just rub a leaf on yourself, a basil leaf on yourself, and it will hopefully repel the mosquitoes. If not, you're gonna smell like pizza or tomato sauce, and that's fine as well. When I first started gardening, I hardly ever planted flowers because, you know, I'm a crop gardener. I want vegetables. And I quickly found out that this was a mistake because of all the pests that were in my garden. And one of the best ways to fight off these pests is using flowers. And the one flower I love the most, not only because it's my son's birth flower, but also because it fights off pests, is marigold. And there are so many varieties of it as well, so you can really find your favorite. And they stop trouble before it even starts. Their roots release a chemical that repels nematodes. Those are the things that go after your roots. And that strong smell, well, aphids and beetles want nothing to do with it. I always like to line my garden beds with marigolds. It gives a pop of color, and yeah, they just look great. I love the way that lavender looks in the garden. And there are some extra benefits to growing it in the garden as well. Although it might smell a bit like your grandma, but that's fine. That's all right. It's comforting, isn't it? Bugs, they hate lavender. Mosquitoes, moths, and flies all hate it. Again, it's because of the strong scent. There is a common theme running through a lot of these. If it smells strong, it's probably gonna fight the bugs away. The best placement to put this is near doorways, so they don't get into your house, or anywhere you like to sit in the garden. If you do enjoy the smell of lavender, dry the lavender and put it in your closet because it will make your clothes smell amazing and also fight off moths. We used to have a teacher at school who always had a sprig of lavender in his pocket, but I think that's because he went and smoked something between lessons. I think that's why. Covers up the smell pretty well. This one I grew in my first year, but I don't anymore because it has a tendency to spread, but it's great at fighting bugs. And it's mint. Yeah, mint is like one of those friends who's always messaging in the group chat and just takes it over. It's everywhere. Although I do know some people that struggle to get it to take. So maybe you're that lucky person who can just grow it and it won't spread. Mint isn't a bad thing when it comes to repelling pests. And also, what is a mojito without mint? It repels ants, it repels aphids, even rodents. So no mice or rats, hopefully. Your best placement on this is in pots. Please do it in pots. You don't want it to take over your garden. Unless you drink a lot of mojitos, and then just plant loads of it. And as it has an ability to fight off rodents and ants, why not put it near your entryways, and that way, hopefully, those ants and rodents won't get into your house. There is one flowering plant that I will grow every year because I love the varieties it has, And also, it's edible, and that's nasturtiums. Now this one isn't one that repels pests. It will attract them to the nasturtium rather than your veggies. So it will fight them by just sacrificing itself, like an 80s action movie star. So you're going to want to put these near cabbage, broccoli, and beans. These plants are magnets for pests, so the nasturtiums will just take them away and allow you to get all your beans, all your broccoli, all of that. And as I said, the nasturtium, it's edible, the leaves and the flowers. Make your salads look pretty. Now, just putting these plants out randomly isn't going to fix it. Here's what people get wrong. It could be the wrong placement. If you stick mosquito repelling plants in the far corner of your yard, don't be surprised when they still attack you on your patio. Put them where you need protection. Also, if you don't maintain the plants, they might not be as effective. Herbs like basil and mint need regular pruning to keep releasing their pest-repelling oils. If they get old and woody, they'll lose their effectiveness. And if you think one plant will solve everything, it won't. No single plant can stop all pests, but a combination of these will give you the best results. Alright, if you want to fight off pests naturally, try out this recipe that I've used in my garden before, and it works without chemicals. You're going to need a handful of basil or mint. Fresh is best, so if you're growing it, perfect. A few cloves of garlic, because bugs hate garlic, strong smelling of course. 2 cups of water, and 1 teaspoon of dish soap. This will help this solution stick to leaves. Blend the basil, mint and garlic with water until smooth. Strain it so there's no big chunks. Add dish soap and mix, and then pour into a spray bottle. Then just spray it on plant leaves, especially under leaves where pests could be hiding, and reapply after rain. And it's safe for veggies and safe for you. Nature is pretty smart. It's been fighting off pests since before we were even around. Instead of dumping chemicals into our garden, we just need to listen to the plants and see what they've been doing this whole time. And here's another thing, if you've been struggling with a lot of pests, then plant a mixture of all of these just to fight them all off. And honestly, a garden isn't complete without plants like nasturtium or marigolds. They are stunning, and the nasturtiums themselves are edible. So which of these plants are you excited to try? Let me know in the comments, or let me know your tricks of fighting off pests naturally. And this video on your screen right now is the one that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy the most, so why not go check it out?